Everyone, welcome to another episode of Unpacking Possibility. I'm your host, Traci Stein, as always. I'm so happy to be here with you. Happy New Year. It's 2026. And I am especially happy today and grateful because my dear friend Leslie McGuirk, author, illustrator, artist, astrologer, which is what we're going to focus on today, and the author of The Power of Mercury, among many other books, is here to tell us what we can expect in 2026. So, Leslie, I'm so excited to have you here.
Well, good. I'm hoping I'm going to bring some comfort to people because Tracy, literally every single person has said to me, I am so glad 2025 is over. I've never in my life had so many people complain about a year, even more
Oh
so
my
than
God.
during COVID.
It's been like a circus. And people who are watching the video will see me doing this, and it's not performative. It's actually because all the feelings are coming up about 2025. So you're going to see me lighting my candle, my Reiki candle here, and probably even doing a little Palo Santo because why not? But it's really like I felt like I've needed to detox from this year. Like the news has nearly
Yes.
overwhelmed me.
Yes. Well, you and a lot of people, and myself included, from the minute the year started until when it ended, it just was rough. And in terms of numerology, which I know a lot about, even though I'm mostly an astrologer, 2025, if you add up those numbers, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, it comes up to a 9, which is the year of endings. And it's also the year of the snake. And what do snakes do? They shed their skin. So it's not really fun to lose things, which is what the year was all about. I mean, I lost a tooth, I lost a dog, I lost
Ah,
friends. It was just the theme was loss, and how it showed up for people would have been different for everyone, but the theme was the same for all of us. And it's not the most fun to go through a 9 year because you have to say goodbye. And we're not just saying goodbye to things like a tooth or a loved one like a dog or a person. We're also saying goodbye to the way that life used to be. And that is also why people are so afraid. But there is great comfort in knowing that we're moving into a number 1 year. So if you add up 2 plus 2 plus 6, it's a 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So that means everything's a fresh start. And what people are going to notice, and I want them, that's why I say I hope I can bring comfort, because I think that's the job of astrology, is to bring comfort, not to put fear into people. We live in an electromagnetic universe, and there are cycles and patterns, and everything in life is going to die. So whatever we lost last year is just part of a cycle. It's not that you can say it's good or bad. Like when a snake sheds its skin, is that bad? Or when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, is that bad? No, but it's painful. I don't think that little caterpillar enjoys having its eyeballs melt, but I think that's
we're ahead of the
that's what.
game compared to the caterpillar.
Yeah. So the point of this coming year is that we're getting off to a fresh start. But the first 2 months, I just want everybody to know they are not fun. January and February, do not expect much improvement in the way that you're feeling. I made some keywords, just one word actually, for each of the months, and I'm going to tell you what each of them are, and then I'll explain what's coming up. So the key word for January is that we're going to feel ungrounded. So
Hmm.
the best thing you can do when that kind of energy is going on is spend as much time outside as possible in nature with animals. Get out of your head, get off the computer, because when you feel ungrounded, that's when you're most likely to get anxious and depressed and all sorts of, negative things. So that's the key word for January, and that's not a fun word for the month, to be ungrounded. I don't particularly like that feeling, but that's what I pick up as the theme for January. And then sadly, just so you know, it's going to get better, but February is a really tough month. It's a month of a lot of wounded energy. And I would say February is one of the toughest months I've seen in a long time. I don't know what the heck is going to happen, and I'll give you some dates and ideas about what it
Okay.
could be, but not great, not a great month. And then March,
Well, sorry, can you go
yeah,
back to February though? Like
yeah,
what is the overall theme for that month? Like,
for being wounded.
okay. So wounded by
Venus we're wounded, and
okay.
there's some real, if people who know about astrology, we have like a Uranus square Mars. We have a lot of things changing in
Okay.
February. Things are shifting, and it's not a comfortable month for any of us.
Can I
It's
just
just, yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. Just for clarification, because I want to make sure I understand. Wounded like old wounds coming to the surface, or wounded like by others in our lives?
Could be any of
It
it.
could be any of it. Okay.
Yes, that's where I have no idea how it will manifest. So, for example, 2025 was the year of letting go and losses. But that doesn't mean people are gonna die. Like I said, a loss could be you lose a tooth. I mean, that's not gonna kill you, but it's a pain. So things can manifest and show up in people's lives in many, many different ways.
Okay.
And I'm not real comfortable with what I see in
Okay.
February.
So a tough month,
And I
a tough
don't know,
winter.
yeah, unfortunately, it looks pretty rough. And especially for certain signs, which I'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
And for some people, they're just going to skip through it all and they won't notice too much. But for the majority of people, if you're still feeling not so great in January and February, and you were hoping 2026 was going to be a much better year, don't get too depressed. March is the month of feeling depressed. Part of it's we're coming out of winter, and we just have gone through so much in 2025. And then January and February still rough, and then we're just like, "Come on, when are we gonna get our break?" And I will tell you it's gonna start in April.
Okay.
April is when things completely shift, and that is a very aggressive kind of put on your boots, we're marching forward, and that should feel good because it's like we got our fight back. We're no longer depressed. We're not wounded. We're not ungrounded. We're able to actually move forward. So I would think that's going to feel great and really liberating, is the word I would use for April.
Okay.
Um, May is up and down. There are some really aggressive aspects that month. So I couldn't really come up with the perfect word for May. It's kind of a mixture of January, February, and March with a little bit of April energy in there too. And then June is when we finally get some freedom and we're going to feel like we've been released from something that's been really, really difficult. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's political stuff or weather or illnesses. I have no idea. All I know is the theme. And the reason why astrology is so important right now is that if you can see the themes, you don't overreact when it's difficult. You just say, okay, Leslie told me it was going to be like this, so I'll just get through it. But we do have a little bit of a way to go. And I didn't get, I mostly just looked at the next 6 months. I will tell you after June and then into July, August, September, it's easier. It's just
Good.
literally the first 2 months are the hardest.
Okay. And relationships generally will be also feeling these influences, or finances, or how should people look at
Prepare.
this? Yeah, or should they just think of this as purely, as largely internal, how they'll be feeling, and just know that they're gonna ride it out. They'd have to ride it out.
They have to ride it out.
Yeah.
It's because every one of us will manifest these energies in different ways because we all have completely different vehicles that we're driving. Because I look at astrology as being like the owner's manual in your car glove compartment.
Okay.
So we all have a different owner's manual. We all are driving a different car. What I'm telling you is it's going to rain and hail in January and
Oh,
February.
no.
And if you know it's going to be kind of nasty weather,
You
you
prepare.
you you prepare. That's all. You just prepare. And if it's nasty, you don't look out the window and say, "I'm so upset. I can't believe it's raining." Well, you don't do that because we know we can't control it, right? We just say, "Well, that's what it is." But we tend to not do that, have that kind of level of acceptance when it comes to these cosmic energetic weather patterns. But we need to look at it exactly like weather. And whatever is happening is what's meant to be happening.
Okay. Not everybody as you were saying a moment ago, not everybody's gonna feel it equally. Some people are gonna
Right.
feel it even more,
Yes.
depending on their signs, and obviously, you can't get into everybody's individual charts here. People can contact you if they
Right.
wanna have their chart done, but, um it's so interesting what you're saying too, because, I always kinda take a look and see, what are intuitives either that I know or, who are publishing things out there throughout the year and throughout the previous year talking about. And what I've heard again and again, whether it's somebody who's doing more kind of general intuitive work or like you're talking about astrology, is that there's a turning point in this coming year that kind of gets us out of the overwhelm of last year, but
Yeah.
that it is a challenging year nonetheless. Like, we still have things to go through, and it's you use such an apt metaphor, skin to shed, like a snake shedding its skin, which I am assuming is not terribly comfortable, but necessary and liberating at the end.
Right. And people just have to know to just hang in there and find comfort and support with things that are real, not fake things. So, real trees and real plants and real people, not AI. I mean, AI is super useful. AI is going to explode in the next year as well, because we've got a major shift in one of the planets, which I'm going to get to with
Great.
all my inside track information about things. But we can't even comprehend what life could be like 6 months from now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if we're going to like it or not like it. All I know is that it's going to be different. And last year, mostly the elemental forces that were at work were water and earth. If you put water and earth together, it can be a lake sitting in the earth, or the ocean meets the shore, or it can feel like mud.
Ooh,
And for many of us, 2025 felt like mud. It
yeah.
felt like if I have one more bad thing happening to me, like when your boots are stuck in mud and you can barely walk. That's kind of the way I think most people felt about 2025. And then we get into 2026 and it's totally shifted. Now it's all fire and air. So fire and air can be nice if it's a fire in a fireplace and you take bellows and you pump up the fire to make it bigger and you sit around and toast marshmallows and you get warm and cozy. Or fire and air can mean explosive and the air fuels the forest fire and all the trees get eaten up. So all these elements, they need to be contained and worked with in the right way. So when we move out of water and earth and into fire and air, we have to think about how to contain that kind of energy, because fire and air can run amok. So that's one of the
Yeah.
things about this year of 2026. So we've shed the skin, we're birthing into something new, and there's something about this new thing that's like a bat coming out of hell. Like, isn't that an expression? I think that's an expression,
It it
right?
it
Like a
is.
bat out of hell. Like, why the hell did
It's
that?
also an album, I think.
Oh, well, I like bats. I think they're super cool animals.
They
People give them
are.
a bad name.
They
Do you know
are.
that they have belly buttons and
Did not
thumbs?
know that.
Yeah, because they're mammals.
Aw.
Yeah, they have little belly buttons. Anyway, okay, so what I want to tell you about what was going on in 2025 and why it's different this year. There were so many outer planets that were shifting after being in a particular zodiac sign for 7, 8, or 20 years. And all through 2025, they were moving forwards and then backwards and then forwards and backwards. So that's why the the water and earth made us feel like we were getting stuck, because we couldn't move forward and then we'd go backwards. You can't get to where you want to go when that's happening. And we're not completely fully situated until we get into a bit more of 2026. So I think 2026 is going to definitely feel it. I think it already feels better for a lot of people, just psychologically, to know that we're out of a number 9 year. But the big shifts that are happening in January and February is that on January 26th, Neptune is finally moving into Aries. And this is huge. And that's pretty soon. January 26th is just around the
Yeah.
corner. So Neptune loves to be in water because Neptune is the undersea god, and his symbol in astrology is the trident, the pitchfork
Yeah.
that Neptune, Poseidon used under the ocean. So now it's no longer in Pisces. He's no longer in the water. He's come out, and now he's in the sign of Aries, the fiery ram. And he's going to take that pitchfork and all that magic, and he's going to make stuff happen. Fire. It's going to get totally ignited. And Neptune is a magician and a wizard. So there's some major stuff changing around January 26th. And then the other big one is in February, Saturn will be moving into Aries as well. Saturn's been in Pisces for the last 2 years, and it's been going back and forth, back and forth. But now it's finally on February 13th, it's moving into Aries. So to have two of these planets that were in these watery places moving out into a zodiac sign that's completely different. Aries is about, we're going to push through this wall. We're going to be first. We're going to make things happen. It's about restructuring, and it's a very aggressive energy. Now, aggressive can be good when you're aggressively fighting to change the world for a better place. You need that energy because Pisces is kind of wishy-washy. Think about Pisces, it's two fish, one's going this way and one's going that way. So it makes you feel kind of stuck in that way too. Are you going left? Are you going right? What's going on? All of that by February, we have a decisive kind of movement that's happening, and especially in the second half of February. But I am not a big fan of what I see happening in February. I think it looks a little crazy, intense, a little bit scary. So I just think lay low as much as possible. And if the world looks really scary in February, just know it'll pass. Whatever it is, it's part of this recalibration we're going through. And then the other big thing that's happening is that, oh, by the way, if you're an Aries person or you have a lot of personal planets in Aries, you're going to feel it. And if you want to look at your chart, if you know how to read a chart, you want to find out where Aries is in your chart and just know that these two planets, the Neptune, the magician, and Saturn, who's like a taskmaster drill sergeant, those two planets are moving into that area of your chart wherever Aries is. So you're going to feel like you got this kick in the pants and things are going to start activating in that area.
Okay. Which could be good.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's good because I'd rather be moving forward than stuck in mud, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd much rather have movement.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that I think that feeling stuck is a very exhausting, tiring feeling, and I think many people have felt like, when is this going to end?
Absolutely.
So then the other big thing that's happening, and I'm really happy about this one because Uranus is the planet that, if he was an actor, he'd be like a hyperactive Mexican jumping bean, mad scientist, very frenetic energy. And it's like a squirrel caught in the middle of the road, and it's, left, right, and then you're afraid you're going to run it over. It's like that kind of anxiety feeling that you get with Uranian energies. It's been in Taurus since 2018.
Okay.
And 20 I have two planets in Taurus, my moon and my Mars. And let me tell you something, Tracy. For a Taurus person, which is a bull sitting in the field eating grass, do you think they like that frenetic energy? No. And I was worried about this years ago when I was thinking, oh my God, in the, early, 2018 to 2025, I'm going to have to deal with Uranus on my moon and my Mars. And I made it through it, so I want people to know that you get through it. And how I got through it was I knew that it was happening, so I started to do more yoga and I started to do things to counteract that frenetic energy that was
Okay.
definitely on me. So now it's moving into Gemini. So anyone who has a lot of planets in Gemini for the next 8 years, they're going to feel like they're driving down the highway of life and there's squirrels everywhere and you're trying not to run them over. So it's just like that kind of feeling.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't have to be bad. And trust me, Gemini can deal with Uranian energy a lot better than any Taurus. So it's not as bad. And that's not going to happen completely, move into Gemini until April 25th.
So people need to do more things to just kind of calm that feeling of kind of antsiness and so forth and ground, like you said, get out. The term I guess that people use a lot now is earthing, but literally get out in nature and ground yourself in that earth energy. Um, Generally next year, this year, it's this year already. Um, but things to kind of balance out that
Yes,
kind of
especially
agitation.
if you're a Gemini.
Okay.
Or if you have your moon in Gemini, your Mercury in Gemini, or your Venus or Mars, any of those inner planets, those are going to be hit by that feeling like you live inside a pinball machine. And for
Okay.
me, I'm like, adios, Uranus. I am so glad that you're moving out of Taurus because I've lived with that awareness in the back of my head for the last 8 years, and I'm very
You're
much looking
ready.
forward to April 25th, 2026, and it's going to be in Gemini until 2033.
Wow.
So all those Gemini people, you're going to have it the way all us Taurus people had for the last 8 years. That's a long time, Tracy,
No, it seems that way. I'm sure
to
it feels
live
even
with.
longer.
Yeah, so but Uranus energy, I always tell people, none of these planets are all negative. So the Uranian energy brings unexpected events, but an unexpected event could be winning the lottery or getting an unexpected job, or unexpected doesn't mean bad.
And creative, remind me, because that's actually my like key planet basically, right? Because I'm Aquarius. Not that I
Yep.
don't have other things in my chart, but
Right.
the Uranian energy, I think of like innovation and
Yes.
creativity as well.
But it's a certain type of creativity. It's very cutting edge. People who have a lot of Aquarius energy sometimes are really good with technology and computers. It's like the forward thinking kind of creativity. It's
Okay.
brilliant. I mean, Uranus, like I said, he's like a mad scientist who does brilliant creative things.
But we gotta focus too, it sounds like.
Yeah, you got to focus because otherwise you get too anxious.
Okay. Good for people to know if they're feeling anxious.
Right. And really, the antidote for everything is being more in nature, and most people are not very much at all. A lot of people don't have a garden. A lot of people can't go barefoot, or it's just impossible to spend time outside. But I will tell all of you out there that when I'm on the computer too much, and I'm on the computer a lot for the work that I do, whenever I get really stressed out and I go outside and just work in my garden and put my hands in the dirt, or I just pull up weeds, and it's very therapeutic. And if I'm ever feeling like I'm getting sick or run down, literally just 20 minutes of touching plants and pulling on weeds and whatever it is I'm doing, chopping a hedge, it definitely makes a physical difference because we are living in an electromagnetic universe. And when our electromagnetic auric field gets disturbed, in order for it to become calm, it has to have the antidote, which is always nature. So I've got a neighbor down the street who goes to the ocean every single day. He puts
Wow.
himself in there. That's like his way of going to church. And I can think of no better way than being in the ocean, because the ocean has the same salt content as our bodies. We're part of this whole system. And when we die, we become earth, we become dust. So that is the antidote. And people who live in cities and who can't see the stars at night, or they can't touch the earth and they don't have a garden, just my suggestion is just try to get real plants in your house. Get rid of anything in your house that's fake. Fake plants don't really do anything. So anyway, that's just a suggestion.
Okay,
Also, cooking can help because touching vegetables and cutting food, like it can be a very relaxing thing for people,
great.
especially if too much Uranian energy. And then the other thing that's happening, because you're in Aquarius, this is going to affect you and anyone who's got Leo planets or Aquarius planets. The North and South nodes are switching from Pisces and Virgo into Leo and Aquarius, and that's going to start on July 27th, and that'll last until March of 2028. So it's just, not not as big of a deal as these other things, but there's going to be a little bit more emphasis on for Leo and Aquarius people. And because they're not planets, it's just a point of focus about things you should start thinking about wherever in your chart Leo and Aquarius are. So for me, my ascendant is Leo. So it means that an attention on how I present out into the world or anything to do with partners, because it's my ascendant and descendant. But everyone's got Leo Aquarius somewhere. And it just that's where the attention will start to go. We also have an Aquarius eclipse in February. So those eclipses are very intense because you'll feel them 2 days before and 3 days after. And I forgot to write down the exact date of it. So anyone can go online and just say, when is the eclipse in Aquarius?
Yeah, and I can put it in the
Um,
show notes later too.
okay, good. Yeah, I meant to write it down and I
That's
should have it
okay.
memorized, but I don't. And then the other big thing that's happening is Jupiter. So if he was an actor coming to visit the stage of our worldly performance, he's like Santa Claus and he makes things big and exciting and happy. He's been in Cancer, but he's going to move into Leo on June 30th, and he'll be there until July of 2027. So basically a year. So this is really, really good for people who have a lot of Leo in their charts. They're going to feel a bit of buoyancy because of that Jupiter energy. So that's nice. And the best news is that in August, we've got a really phenomenal aspect of Jupiter making a trine, which is a positive aspect to Saturn in Aries. So this whole theme is about this Aries energy of moving forward. And it looks like by August, it's just so much better. So I'm excited about that. Oh, I do have the date for the solar eclipse in Aquarius, February 17th.
So people will feel what generally around eclipses? Maybe that's a good thing to clarify too.
So these eclipses are they're very potent. They disrupt your path. You're going again, driving down the highway of life, and then all of a sudden you hit one of those like speed bumps where you get if you go too fast, you're gonna go and ruin your tires. So when you have an eclipse, you're gonna get a little warning, like there's a sign before you hit the speed bump that it says coming up, there's a speed bump, slow down. So I'm telling you right now that around February 17th, 2 days before, you got to slow down because on the 17th, there is this eclipse, which is it's a disruptive energy. It's not the regular flow of how the planets go. It's a bigger deal, and then you feel it 4 days after. So you go over the clunky feeling of the eclipse, and then you have 4 days to sort of smooth out of it. Now it's not negative; it's just an energetic hurdle, I guess you would say, that can feel a little bit unpleasant because things get heightened. Because you think you're just driving down the road, and if you didn't know it was coming, it would feel disturbing.
Jar you, be really jarring.
Right. So we want to, that's why doing these talks with you is really important because people can put it in their calendar and just say, all right, if I feel kind of out of whack, just know, wait, and it will
Slow
pass.
down a
And
little. Pay
yeah, and
attention.
just realize that you're not crazy. I mean, we definitely feel these planetary changes because we just had the full moon. I'm not sure if it was tonight or last night, but oh
I
my
think it's
God, I
tonight.
know
Yeah.
it's tonight. Okay, see, I should know that, but I don't.
It's okay.
I
I
just
only
know
know because I saw it on my phone.
I see it. I see it up in the sky, and it looks so full. And I at night it is so bright out. I have to pull all the curtains because I can't sleep. I
Yeah.
never sleep well during a full moon. So I just know that's going to happen often, and I just prepare for it. And I don't expect to get a good night's sleep during that time. So if anyone says, oh, astrology doesn't work, all they have to do is look at the full moon and realize that more babies are born, more deaths happen, police, are more active, hospitals, emergency rooms, like everything is more activated. And it's because our body is 80, 90% water. And when the moon is full, it's pulling on every bit of water that's on the planet. So all the tides go up and down according to the cycles of the moon, and we're filled with water. So we're getting influence as well. It's like being yanked, right? You get kind of a feeling, I guess that's the right word, but being yanked during a full moon. So I'm not a big fan of full moons, but they're interesting. And last night it was so bright. That's why I thought it was last night. I literally felt like I needed sunglasses to look at it.
Well, you may be right. I thought it was January 3rd, but it could be the 2nd. It's January 3rd today for anybody who's wondering, but you definitely notice a day or so before and after the full moon that it is very intense. And I it's funny because I actually do find it harder to sleep as well.
And my dogs are more wound up, and where I live on a nature preserve, there are coyotes, and
Oh, good
always on
lord.
a full moon. They're out there. And only they only do it on a full moon. They're
The
all
howling.
howling at they go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was last night too, because the coyotes are telling me, yeah, they're howling at the moon. And they do that
No,
because
I
they're
believe
more
it.
connected to these planets than we are.
No, I believe
There
it.
is no doubt about that. Then the other thing we have to think about are the lovely times when Mercury's retrograde, which is what my book is all about, the power of Mercury. So Mercury
Absolutely.
retrograde, this is the good news for everybody who doesn't like Mercury retrograde. It's only going to happen 3 times in
Instead of
2026
4. Instead
instead of
of the
four.
4. Okay.
Very good. You knew that. Excellent. So the
I
first,
I know a little bit here and there, just enough to get in trouble, Leslie.
yeah, I know. Well, that's good. So February 25th to March 20th is the first one. And then June 29th to July 23rd is the second one. And then the last one, October 24th to November 13th. But as I say in my book, people need to know that if you're born during a Mercury retrograde period, which I was, that means that this is your good time. And Mercury retrograde babies make up only 20% of the population. So that is not a huge amount of people. But we feel the way that 80% does when it's retrograde, we feel that all the time when it's direct. So this is one reason why, as an astrologer, because I'm a Mercury retrograde baby, I I don't get really hung up about the day-to-day things too much. I try to live my life the best I can and be as earthed out as possible. I think that really is the antidote for all of us. And I'm serious when I say this because I think it's a major problem, especially for young people who are not as interested in the outdoors and nature as possibly my generation was when we were kids. We were out playing outside all the time. Now kids are inside on the computer. And I'd be doing the same thing if I was a kid and I had a cell phone or a computer. I mean, it's just so different right now. Very, very different. So I think it's important. And I think that if we don't start paying attention to nature more, uh, then Mother Nature is going to slap us in the behind one day for not taking care of our home. I mean, this planet is our home and we don't take the best care of it. I will say that.
Right.
I mean, some people do try to, but the majority of people definitely do not. The other thing that's happening is that Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio and Libra between October 3rd and November 13th. So that could be tricky for people who have a lot of Scorpio Libra planets, because it's when Venus goes retrograde, it means that your romantic relationships, your love life, and may feel like there's something faltering during that time. So I want people not to freak out. It doesn't last that long.
Don't make huge
It's
decisions if you don't
don't
have
make
to.
exactly, just wait it out. Wait until after November 13th. But again, many people were born with Venus retrograde. So for them, it's probably not going to be a problem. And that's the tricky thing about talking to you about the
The
themes for the year.
general
I'm basically just doing the first 6 months. What really has to happen is getting a natal chart reading and having an astrologer like me look at where all these things are going to hit you in particular. And sometimes we're meant to move. And I have a great story about Uranus. Remember, Uranus is the unexpected, out of the blue. You're changing something. So this couple that I knew that lived in Florida, they had no intention of moving at all. He liked his job. They were happy with their home. And I looked at his chart and I said, "Oh my gosh, Uranus is moving into the first house of who you are." It's like right on his ascendant. And the minute that Uranus shows up, it's like, here he is, bang, you're moving. And I said, "I don't know if you are going to move, like run a marathon, join a gym, like that kind of moving? Or are you literally going to leave Florida and suddenly move like out of the blue to another place?" And he looked at me like I was crazy. "We're not moving, Leslie. I'm not even looking for a job." And then within a month, he calls me up and he said, "I just got offered a job in Seattle." He said, "Is
wow.
that what you were talking about?" I said, "Yes, you didn't go looking for it. It came out of the blue." He said, "Yes, yes, yes." And I said, "Okay, you need to go out there and check that out, because you want to work with this energy. Because if you don't work with it and you don't make the dance with the energy in the way that it wants you to dance with it, then it doesn't show up in a very nice way." So he went out for this job interview, loved the company, decided to take the job, and
Wow.
within 2 months they were gone.
That is wild.
Yeah, 2 months they were gone. And then the other funny thing about him is that he had 0 Earth in his chart, and they were living in a high rise in Seattle when they moved out there. And I said, "This isn't going to work for you. You need to be on the ground floor, and you need to have a garden, and you need to get out of the city, because you need Earth. And I know this job is good, and this was totally the right thing to do." So then, like a month later, he calls me. He said, "Well, what do you think of this house we just found on Bainbridge Island?" I said, "Oh my God,
Wow.
that would be like living in Sherwood Forest. This is so perfect." And so now he's like a farmer. He's got a farm and everything, and
Oh my
they're
goodness.
so happy. Like everything in their life, their daughter ended up moving close by, and they have their grandchildren there. Now they have 2 dogs. They didn't even have dogs back then, so they worked with what he didn't have in his chart and worked with the energy, and it was none of it was negative, because he moved with what was showing up for him. And that's where I wonder, like, if he hadn't met me as an astrologer, he might not have gone on that trip to interview for that job.
Thinking like, "Oh, it's so far," or "I'm happy where I am," or
Yeah,
whatever. But he paid attention to, "Okay, I get it. Now maybe I should pay attention to this energy too."
I think he trusted me, and I'm always so grateful when people listen to me because I have a pretty high accuracy rate
You
for
do.
suggest
You do, I have to say.
and so when people don't listen to me, I get so sad. I'm like, "Well, you should have at least tried it." I mean, you don't know unless you try, but they are so happy. They've lived out there now for over, I don't know, 15 years. I just talked to them the other day and we were laughing about, "Yeah, you used to live here in Florida and you were my friends, and all of a sudden you're gone." So it wasn't great for me, but I mean, I've been out to visit them, and it's such a happy thing, all of it. So there again, another story about a planet, something shocking out of the blue. it was positive. It's not
Yeah.
negative.
No, it's amazing, and just for people listening, I know I've mentioned this before, but if you've never heard an episode where Leslie's been on, you've read for me, you've read for other people I know, you've read for Jason, and I have to say in every case, not when it was stuff that wasn't on Instagram or Facebook, stuff you couldn't find out, it wasn't just you know, a dry reading of the chart, it was very intuitive as well and really uncannily accurate. And again, you're not telling people what to do. You're saying, this is what I see. This was what could work. This is the influence. But people are going to be the ones who are driving their ship. But
Right.
you're laying out, like you said, if you know the weather, you can decide how you want to respond to it.
Right. And when there are these amazing opportunities that show up and you get a little bit of encouragement from an astrologer and it turns out to be a really, really good thing, it just makes me so happy. And then those are the days when I'm so happy I'm an astrologer. Like, wow, I can really make someone's life noticeably better. That's a great feeling because I never really wanted to be an astrologer. You knew that, right?
I mean, you have all of these other talents that are very, very significant. So
But I don't get to do my art like I used to, and that makes me sad, but I assume I'll get back to it at some point, although
kind of
now
busy.
because I'm on the computer so much, I don't use my hand to draw as like I used to or write letters. When do we ever write letter? Not that often. So my handwriting has changed. My ability to hold a pen feels like a foreign object. It's just bizarre when you think about
I
it.
know, right?
Yes.
Leslie, I want to be mindful of your time because I know that, you took time out of your busy day to be here, and I really appreciate that. I have one question, and I'm not sure if it's something that really we can't address well, that's totally fine, but I know a lot of people are talking already about the midterm elections in the United States in early November, and I didn't know if there was a general astrological influence that might relate to or might give us kind of a heads up for late October, early November. And, if not, don't worry about it.
To tell you the truth, I haven't really looked into that too
Okay.
much.
Okay.
But I have looked at Donald Trump's chart
Okay.
because that is such a bizarre situation what he's going through right now. His aspects for his health and body are really not good.
Right now.
And
Like,
well, it's
not
been
not just
bad
come
all year.
right, right. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
something that
so
you're seeing coming up down the road, it's, like, in the present.
it's in the present. So
Yeah,
I said in April of 2025, he had a particularly bad spell with his health. And I said, there's another one happening I think I said October 2025. And I said, the next one that's really bad for his health is in January. And I just have a hard time understanding how, with such bad health aspects, he's still able to function. I, I don't understand that.
um, I think that, obviously, when you're in that kind of position or have those kind of financial resources, you have access to literally the best medical care, and I think we can keep people going just generally for much longer than we were ever able to, but no, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, intuitives and just, regular people have noticed that his health does not look good. It looks like it has absolutely changed. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a dramatic progression. I'm not predicting anything, but I'm just saying I think it's pretty clear at this
Well,
point.
that's what I mean. It's so clear.
Yeah.
Visually, it's clear. They the his staff brushes over it all, but he's falling asleep a lot. The bruises on his hands. He's.
The
I know
swollen
people.
ankles. Yeah.
Yeah, all of it. There's a lot. Well, his eating habits are atrocious. I know a lot of people who have known him over the years, and they said he eats like McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
That's his food staple.
Yeah.
And he also, by the way, has absolutely no earth in his chart.
Oh,
He's
I
one of
didn't
the
know
few
that.
yeah, he's one of the few presidents that hasn't had a dog. And there's no earth in his life, other than one reason he plays so much golf is because that's the only time he gets earthed out is walking on well, he's not really walking on it, he's riding in a golf cart. But
Right. But out in
yeah,
nature
so
in the
he's
sun.
kind of a his chart is uh very intensely pointing towards physical, out of the blue, not good health things.
Yeah.
And I do not understand how he's gone from April until now with nothing more drastic. Maybe it is drastic and they're covering it
Yeah,
up,
I
but
don't think we would know, to be honest.
right.
Just and I think there are a million reasons why. Um, you know, I'm trying to be thoughtful about what I do and don't say and how I say it, but I mean, the other thing is, and I know we don't have time for you to talk about this today, but, although come back anytime, but, it'd be interesting to look at JD Vance's chart as well and
Oh, I
see.
could tell you, I have looked at that. That is not, even if he is a president for a while, that man does not have charisma. He does not have the following. There is nothing there that indicates that he's going to be a huge force. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and that's in the chart as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or specifically.
And but whereas Zoran Mamdani, I always say his name wrong.
That's it.
How do you say his
Zoran
name?
Mamdani.
Mamdani, yeah. When I looked at his chart long ago when he was just first starting, I said, "Now that guy," I said, "he's going to win. He's got all the things that you need to be a leader," and he did win. And so astrologers can tell whether or not someone has the chance to win, and that's why I wish they would use astrology. People who are picking officials, I would never hire anybody without looking at their chart. So why would we hire people to run our country without looking at their
Well, the
charts?
Reagans, I believe, were big,
Oh yeah,
into.
Nancy Reagan was
Yeah,
right.
but I think that's one of the things people in politics probably like to keep, quiet. And
Well,
I get it,
J.P.
but
Morgan said millionaires do not use astrology; billionaires use
wow,
astrology.
okay,
J.P.
interesting.
Morgan said that,
I did not
and I
know that.
do know that one of the reasons why astrology became known as just horoscopes and sort of like silly, vapid, not intellectual kind of postings about what was going to happen to you each month. That was probably maybe purposefully done to keep people away from really understanding what astrology is. So I'm on a one person crusade trying to get it back to what it originally was, which was the highest thing under the kings were the astrologers and the three wise men who found baby Jesus, the Magi. Magi actually means astrologers. They were right up there as being the wise ones. And hopefully one day we'll get back to that. But I think what we need are more people learning astrology from people like me, people who learned it and have been doing it for many years, not people who have been doing astrology for 3 or 4 years.
I thought you were
There
gonna
is
say 3
no
or 4
way.
months.
Well, there are people after 3 or 4 months who are up
Yeah,
practicing
no,
astrology.
100%. By the way, in many fields, like, it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna start a TikTok."
Oh yeah, or start coaching, or I'm going to start whatever. And right now, a lot of people ask me about like AI and is that accurate for astrology? Yeah, and I mean at some basic level, it's useful, but it's not like having an intuitive guide who also, well, for me, what I do with people is I look at everything. I have so many tools in my toolbox to help people, so it's not just
Yeah,
astrology.
yeah. No, absolutely, and
Well,
listen.
do you feel better?
I do, I feel like, again, forewarned is forearmed, and, just it's good to make us I think it's just nice to have another tool for making us kind of pay attention and be aware and realize that we have agency even in times when we feel stuck and like we can't move forward in the way or time frame we want to. Like we get to choose how we want to approach life and various situations, and we have a way of working with our inherent strengths and being aware of the things that feel challenging too, inside of us and in the world around us. So,
Right.
I think astrology is a great tool for that.
By the way, I've done this with you a bunch of times. I've never once seen you light a candle.
Oh, really?
No, and so I think it's perfect because remember I said we're moving from earth and water into fire and air? You just literally brought the fire and air in, and that's a good use of fire and air, putting it in a candle.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna do it more now. I do it once in a while, but I like, privately, I do it quite a lot.
I wish I could smell it from here, whatever. I
I
love the
know.
smell of Palo Santo. You know, that's the
Me
wood
too.
that they say Jesus, his cross was made out of that wood. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. I
That's
did
why
not
it's
know that.
considered sacred wood.
Oh, how interesting. I mean, it has a very wonderful resinous smell, and I find it very kind of anchoring in the present for me. Like
Yeah, I love
it's
that
just a
smell.
very good, yeah. Leslie, is there anything else that we should cover, or have we really touched
I
on?
think I've pretty much, like I said,
Yeah,
we should talk
absolutely.
again and when we get closer to the spring and do the last 6 months, and then I can tell you
100%.
more about the midterms. Right
That'd be
now, I'm trying to just focus
and
on.
getting to getting to the summer.
Yeah, I want to just get through January and
Oh,
February.
100%. Leslie, thank you so much for taking the time. It's always
Oh,
so
it's always a
great to
pleasure,
see you and catch up.
and
Um,
hopefully, I'll get to see you in real life before too long.
Absolutely, I hope so. And,
All
I'll
right,
put the links to your book, The Power of Mercury, and your website where people can go and, check out your work and your Facebook group and personal readings and much more.
and also I'm teaching new classes. I'm teaching a numerology class on January 19th. It's only $25. It's an hour, and I'm going to teach people how to do the numerology for their name, their destiny, the year, what's coming up. So that'll be fun. And I'm just trying to do
Well,
some different fun things. I've got a new astrology beginners class starting up in March, and that's people should write to me and sign up for my newsletter because the newsletter is going to have all these different offerings.
absolutely, people will be the first to know.
Yeah.
Uh,
And there's a way to get a lot of this information at a I'm trying to do it at lower cost points because I know readings with me are expensive, but there are ways that I can help people if they join some of these clubs that I've got. Like I've started a new club called the Human Puzzle Club, and it's how to decode the difficult people in your life. So if you've got someone who's driving you crazy, if you join this club, and it could be as low as like $20 a class, you can actually have me look at the charts of some of the people who are driving you nuts. So there's always ways to get at things. And my job is to try to bring clarity and peace so that you're not driving yourself crazy. Because there's nothing worse than that feeling. And I know what that feels like. It's not fun.
no, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thanks again, Leslie, and I will
All
put
right. And
all of
Happy
that in
New
the show
Year.
notes. Yeah, happy New Year to you.
Say
And
hi to Jason
I
and your
will.
puppies. All
I
right.
will.
Thanks.
Yeah, this has been another episode of Unpacking Possibility. If you enjoyed the show, and I know you did, please remember to like, share, follow, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And as always, until next time, be well.